So what I'm doing is I'm prepping my ribeye. It was bought from a local private butcher, not from Walmart, not from Meijer. It was bought locally. So I've been looking into the health benefits of being on a carnivorous diet, and also been looking at the health benefits of eating raw meat. When you heat things up, you basically break down the nutrients that's in them. I was watching a story from a doctor that was talking about a lady that was on her deathbed. Literally, they told her she had like 1 week left to live. And his recommendation was a shot in the dark. He said, eat eggs. Honestly, eat raw eggs, uncooked eggs for the next entire week. If you die, you're going to basically die anyway, so what have you got to lose? And this doctor was speaking at a seminar when he was talking about this, and this lady started with 15 raw eggs a day, and by the time she had contacted the doctor the following Monday, after she should have passed, she said, I'm no longer on my bed anymore, and I'm not hooked up to the machines. I'm actually out walking around. And she said, I don't know what is so special about these raw eggs. And he said, because they have a lot of nutrients in them, a lot of healthy fat, a lot of stuff that's very, very good for the body. So he said it was just something that I thought you need to get into your diet, maybe quick, digestible, bring you out of whatever it is. And all of a sudden the lady started fine. And then he started talking about statistics. 99.9% of the people that actually get salmonella poisoning is from cooked food. It's not from raw food, it's from cooked food. So I looked into it some more, and I started looking at other doctors talking about it. There was a research group that they actually referenced that was on hundreds of cats. I know it's animals, it's not humans, but unfortunately that's how we choose to do studies, because we can't do studies on humans. And it was a scientist or some kind of, it was some kind of control group where they took half the cats and gave them cooked food, and half the cats and gave them raw food. The cats that lasted the longest, 3 times the regular life cycle, or something cycle they called it, was the cats that ate the raw food. And they continued to stay fertile through all of their cycles. The cats that ate the cooked food only lasted for so long and became infertile. So I want to actually try it for myself. I'm part of a carnivore group that I admin, and it's growing like a weed. Like the carnivore diet and the keto diet. Obviously keto's been around for a while, but carnivore is really starting to take off like crazy. And the carnivore group that I admin in, there's a guy there that eats raw eggs, raw lamb, raw beef every single day. And he said, I feel better than I ever have. No inflammation, no nothing. So even though keto is clean, even though carnivore is clean, raw seems to have even less inflammation, less inflammatory episodes people have on a raw diet. So I figured, why not give it a shot? Why talk bad about something if I haven't done it myself? And I chose to get the best quality beef that I could possibly get from my local butcher. And I just told him, I said, I want big giant ribeye, and I want a half a pound of ground chuck fresh. So what I ended up getting is like literally a top choice 1.33 pound ribeye. And I also ended up getting fresh, very, very fresh. No, like my aunt even talked about this tonight. We bought some ground beef from Sam's. Was it Sam's the other night? And it just didn't taste right. This fresh ground beef that you get from your local butcher, it's way better. It smells better. Everything about it just seems to be better. So, with me having so much success on my keto diet and losing the amount of weight that I have lost, and just like everybody else, I'm human. I've fallen off the wagon and jumped back on many, many times. I find that it's the only way for me. I can go to work. I have severe chronic arthritis. My body aches all the time whenever I'm not eating keto, when I'm not eating carnivore. I can't even get up in the morning without being in pain. I tried a vegetarian keto diet for a week. I already had digestive problems to begin with, and even though I lost weight in the first few days, I felt good. By day 5, I was bleeding like I had blood in my stool. By day 7, my stomach was so upset because I wasn't so used to all that fiber and stuff going in me all the time. I just couldn't sustain it. I was hurting so bad that it was getting. I was waking up in the middle of the night. I was straight liquid going to the bathroom. I couldn't do it. And then going carnivore fixed a lot of problems for me. And then I started going back to the bathroom regularly. So what I find is this whole misconception from the vegan community about how uh, you don't go to the bathroom regular. You don't. It's just complete false. I mean, it's a falsity. It's just stuff that's being spewed out there. It's not true at all. And I'm shocked by it when I see it because of the fact that I can't do anything about it. All I can do is sit back and try to be an example and show people my journey and continue doing what I do. And I also support veganism. I support the vegan diet. It's a phenomenal way to live if you can sustain that. But just like Dr. Darren Schmidt just said, he was at a seminar listening to the vegan doctors talking. He was really like interested in what they had to say, and it seemed like a lot of stuff was true. But there was one doctor in particular that was talking about how a vegan diet can heal so many things. It can heal everything, and he said, well, it can't actually. He said there are so many more things that doctor didn't reference that I've healed having people be on a meat-based carnivorous ketogenic diet that you just cannot touch with a vegan diet. And on top of that, the number of deficiencies and stuff that people may have to end up dealing with. It's not the case for everybody. Some people are smart enough to supplement and get higher amounts of certain vegetables to make sure they're getting in what they're supposed to get in, but I don't have to do that on a carnivorous diet. I don't have to do that on a ketogenic diet. I can just eat whole food based keto and be happy and be completely fine. So my story, I had high cholesterol, I had high blood pressure, I was 385 pounds. I'm down to 272 now. I was lower before, but I started eating sugar and fruit and going to McDonald's and everything else and eating all the things that I shouldn't, and I've gotten myself back on track, and I'm headed right back the way I should go. So even somebody like me that's been doing it as long as I have, I make mistakes as well. And I can't do anything about the lights. They're just going to have to be okay for right now. I don't know what I can do. Maybe I can try to turn them off. I'll turn one of them off. I can't turn them both off. No, they're saying the lights in the background are bright, and I can't do anything about that. There's nothing. I don't know what else to do. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know if I can move the phone a little bit, move my body a little bit. I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll stand back for that. That should be better. So I reversed all that. I reversed the blood pressure problem. I reversed the cholesterol problem. I'm no longer a candidate for being in a pre-diabetic state. My markers are all in check, which they're posted, so if anybody has any questions, discrepancies, or whatever, my LDL is just slightly a little elevated, but it's still fairly close to being normal, but that's becoming more and more typical now. It's not a shock anymore. All my other markers are in check. LDL is just a little bit over what the normal range should be. But I know what's going to end up happening. If a vegan watches this, they're going to say, well, your standard, your medical standard that you're following is not necessarily a good standard, and your LDL should be in this range, because they know so much more. Really, when it all comes down to it, we have to start questioning everything that we're being told, because nobody really knows exactly how we're supposed to live. We're not 10,000 years ago watching people how they did things then. All we can look at is depictions and pictures and stories and stuff of what happened then. So a lot of the health stuff that we're dealing with now is based off somebody coming up with a good idea and it's sticking, and a better idea hasn't been thought of yet. And that's basically what we base everything off of. Just like, how we engage our cholesterol and stuff like that. Trying to get this light out of here so you guys don't have to deal with it. I'm about to show you what I'm eating. So I have a half pound of ground chuck. I have a lot of steak. I eat one meal a day right now. And 2 raw eggs. If you have any questions, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. If anybody wants to say anything bad about what I'm doing, you can say that as well. I'm open for that. Put some sugar-free barbecue sauce on it. Now, mix my egg in with my ground beef. You guys can freak out when you see this. I've never done this before. This is my first time, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just it's different. I've had raw ground beef before, and I really enjoy that. But I've never had just like a straight entire raw meal. Now, try this. Texture's not bad. It's a little chewy. You can do that. Just get a piece that doesn't have no barbecue sauce on it. I'm actually digging it. It's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Well, that is the ribeye. It's phenomenal. Now, I want to try the egg and the ground beef. It's good. There's a little salt. Too plain. And put a little Parmesan cheese and see if that gives a little saltiness. The animal products that are so bad for you. That's much better. Well. Well, I'm going to finish my dinner. I'm going to enjoy this. If you guys have any questions about the aftermath or how I feel tomorrow or when my next raw meal is going to be, leave me a message. If you find this interesting and you just want to know what happens over the next week of me doing a completely raw dinner, one meal a day, subscribe. Hit the little bell. Get some notifications whenever I pop up with these bright, supposedly unsafe ideas that I like to try. They seem to be making me so healthy. So, I appreciate your time, guys. Stay keto. Keto on.